Hi everyone, it's Jess and welcome to another video where I'm going to tell you my June TBR. So the first book that I plan to finish in the month of June is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I've started this book in May and I am now, it's partway through June now, and I've read some more yesterday. So I'm now 104 pages through Legendary. I think it's like 500 pages long, so about a quarter of the way through. When I read Carnival, the first book in the series, I finished that in a day, so within 24 hours. So I plan to finish this one really quickly. Really enjoying it so far, but I'll tell you more in my wrap-up. I won't tell you too much about the description of this book, but I will tell you about Carnival. So it's set at a circus, but it's more of like a game, so less of like circus acts and things. So basically you go and you play the game and you're told that it's only a game and don't believe anything, but as you're reading along you're actually kind of questioning everything. There's loads of plot turns within Carnival. Really enjoyed it when I read that one, and hopefully I can read Legendary just as quick. And the next two books are two books I've now talked about quite a lot on my channel because I have not finished them yet, and that is Roseblood by A.G. Howard and Wicked Like Wildfire by Liana Popovic. I have been reading these for months and months and months, since when I stopped posting videos on my last channel name. And yeah, I really need to read these. I've been trying to get back into reading. I'm in like a little bit of a reading slump. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks and rather than like reading physical books. So I wanted to get more into reading before I tried to carry on these two, just in the hope that I didn't want to like get back into my reading slump again. I wanted to really get into reading before I pick these two up. So hopefully in June I might be able to pick one of these up and finish it. Let's see, I don't know, I'm not going to promise anything, but these are still on my TBR. Now, the next book that I want to read in the month of June is The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the fourth and final book in the Raven Cycle series, and I cannot wait to read this one. The third one wasn't as good as the other two, so I'm hoping for a good ending. I really enjoyed the first three books and I cannot wait to finish the book, finish the series and see what happens. The next book that I want to get it to in June is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I plan to buddy read this with my mum because she also has a copy. She's not usually into like fairy fantasy kind of stories, but she recently did read a fantasy kind of fairy story and she did quite enjoy it. So hopefully we'll be able to read this one together and she will enjoy it. I believe it's kind of more of like a darker fairy story, so I believe my mum will probably enjoy that just as much. But yes, I plan to buddy read this with her. I did do a buddy read like a year ago with her and I really enjoyed it. It was really good fun. It gave us lots to talk about. Not that we don't have things to talk about anyway, but also she's not a very good buddy reader, so she tends to like read ahead and things. So I want to try and finish the books I'm currently reading before I start this with her, because I know that it will take up a bunch of my time because she'll read ahead, etc, etc. But yeah, I will plan to read this in June and hopefully we can get through it quite quickly. The last book that I plan to start in June is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This book is massive, and if you have seen my intimidating TBR tag, you'll know that it's my most intimidating book on my TBR, and yes, I plan to read it. I've challenged myself and at least start it this month, and actually I'm just flicking through and I've realised that the writing is tiny, so even worse, it's going to take me forever. Might do this with a buddy read with Jade from Jade Ray Reads, but I'm not sure yet. We spoke about it before, but we haven't spoken about it since, so I don't know whether we'll do this together. But if not, I might download the audio book for it to read, so to like read along with, because that might be a bit better. But yeah, I plan to at least start this in June to give me a chunk through, as it is now the summer for me and I don't have any university on and I'm working, but I'm moving home soon, so I do have a bunch of time to read. So hopefully I can get a good chunk of this done in June, but again, I'm not going to promise anything. So that is quite an ambitious TBR for me. I think that is 4 books that I want to read, and then 2 that have been on my TBR forever. And if I can read all 6 books this month, it would be amazing. I want to try and read all 4. I know some of those are a bit big, so I might not. At least read 3 of them and then I'll be happy, but I shall tell you more in my wrap up at the end of June, obviously, to tell you how I got on. So I hope to see you guys in a new video. Bye guys.